It actually means colorful, and it is how we are going to be celebrating Indian Arrival Day. It's an event for the 30th, and Keshav is behind it. So he's joining us this morning wearing all the hats, writer, producer, artist, and now promoter.
Yeah,
technically.
It's just another thing, I guess, that I do. Good morning, guys. Thanks so much for having me. Morning, TNT.
The irony, though, that the Rangeela means colorful and we in black and white.
Hey, it's all right. So it's a couple weeks away, so you have time. And I know both of you all have lots of color in your closet.
You know it, you know it.
I had to find it because, I have that sort of like all black memo. It's from my rock and roll days.
I was just about to say that's the background colors.
Exactly.
But this one is coming to the fore in celebration of heritage, in celebration, as we know, of Indian Arrival. Yeah. So tell me a little bit as to what birthed the idea, because you have been repping for Trinbago folk or culture for decades. Why this specific event?
It's a major part of us, major part of myself as well. Interestingly, my mom is actually from India and was a television personality right here on TTT when I was growing up. And it was always viscerally and vividly in my face, this dynamic between the Indianness and the Trinidadianness and the Indo-Trinidadianness, which I embody. And so through my lens, I've been fortunate enough to travel the world and live also in India and Delhi when I was a little kid. So I got to see sort of this dichotomy from outside and inside. And interestingly, so many years later, after becoming a soca producer and now artist, I'm having fun leaning in to the Desi and the Indo-Trini style. But Desi is a word that a lot of Trini people don't really know, but it is a highlighting of the culture that's a little bit more on the East Indian side and the Bollywood side. So it's not a typical chutney type of party.
Right. I was just going to ask, give us a little context. So in comparison to chutney, we faster, we slower, how would it match up?
There's a range of BPMs in that sense. So your technicality, I know that. But interestingly, so I'll give an example. We did Pepper Vine, myself and DJ Private Ryan with Lady Lava, Drupati and Marshall Montano. Big up to Marshall for winning the CSM this year. And that was also one of the sparks for this idea that's been long in creation. Been thinking about doing this and events like this in Trinidad and Tobago for some time, but now is the time. And I just went on tour in India last year as well, so it feels like the right time.
Not just now anymore.
Right now.
Only now.
Just now, right now. Only now.
Keshav, the word is you are turning Calabash Garden into a Bollywood-inspired wonderland.
Absolutely.
Walk us through it.
That is it. So most times when you go to an Indian-style event in Trinidad and Tobago, well, first of all, it's either a wedding or a sort of religious based holiday. But this is an interesting chance for us to do something that is not sort of religious based, but in celebration, like Emancipation Day, of the culture and the background, the heritage that has kind of evolved here in TNT. TNT's Indian culture, or the Indian culture that kind of has survived here, is almost a snapshot in time, which is really interesting. Whereas in India itself, the culture has sort of moved into a kind of different direction.
Right.
It's sort of this strange interplay between futurism and traditionalism. And that party definitely is a kind of mix between the both. And full-on Indian decorations everywhere. Me and my girlfriend Aziza, who also sort of birthed this idea, and she was telling me for the last 4 years, you should be doing this, you should be doing this. And I said, we need to wait till the right time, and this year was the right time.
Oh my goodness. And what just now is now.
Now,
all right.
Now, yeah.
I'm running with that all morning. And in that case, what type of party are you looking at? Do you have a star-studded cast, but it's primarily DJs?
Well, yeah, primarily DJs, but there's definitely live performances. Just Now always has some really interesting secret special guests.
Yeah.
Right, we do an event called Duty Free on the Carnival calendar, which is a boat party, and it's like the kind of incubator of the global soca ambassadors, right? From all over the world. We bring in that energy into this, but there are collaborators that we work with, and sometimes we just don't want to tell people what that is before. Right?
You drop some names before
I don't think dropping names is apt for this, because also we do have a very, very strong lineup on the night. There's something called the Wajang Discotheque. Almost, if you know, you know. It's a legendary sound system in Port of Spain by DJ Tilla Springer, right? And Merton from Germany. And they will be bringing the vintage vibe. So vintage soca and vintage Bollywood, right? So that is not something you get generally at a party.
At all.
They know how to do that.
I feel like they do it the best, the only I've ever seen. So that's specific.
Exactly, right? So global beats with them. And then there's as well, DJ Big Daddy, who is a big time and a very popular Indo-Trinidadian DJ who likes to play Bollywood mashups. So like dance music with Bollywood stuff and soca with Bollywood stuff.
Up-tempo,
A kind of old maxi dub with the Bollywood stuff.
That's dope.
Right? And then moving on into Just Now itself, where we have a few guests coming and joining us. We also have a lot of material that has an Indian edge to it. We've toured India before. And anytime we do a kind of regional thing or in a different culture, like if we're in Brazil or in North America or in Europe, we try to tailor the music for the festival or the event or whatever. And we've been lucky enough to have done that over the years. So in the crates, if you will, there are a bunch of very interesting Indian things that we don't get the chance to play much. So we're going to be doing that. Then there's also a mad rhythm section called Roaring Iron Rhythm Section, which we also had on stage with Marshall for the CSM winning performance, and they're real bad. Like, I'm a drummer, guys. Like, I'm a drummer, and like I'm always excited when I see these guys. And it also incorporates Desi style and Indian style drums within the Trini rhythm section style.
This is going to be
real, man. It's
cool. Definitely going to be dynamic, and it's happening at 48 Tragrit Road Friday, March
Calabash
30th.
Gardens.
Tell me when we getting tickets or how we getting tickets.
You can get tickets all over the place, north, west, east, south, and on islandetickets.com. It's a cooler party, right? So you had to bring your cooler, pack your cooler, and come down. Calabash, if you know, you know, but if you don't know, you need to know, because it is a very interesting, cool oasis of a venue in Port of Spain, right off of Tragrit Road. And so basically just follow Just Now social media, and you'll be able to find all the details. We're rolling it out bit by bit. But you can also get the tickets at a few locations. The Oblique Imperative, which is a cool, magical little store on the corner of...
Good description.
Right there. On the corner of Marval Road and Tragrit Roads. And where I get really interesting kind of accessories like this and these things. And you can get them there. You can get them at Toucan, which is... Have you all been to Toucan yet?
Not yet.
It is so cool. I was there a couple nights ago. You know, it's the old Veni Manger location, which retains its Port of Spain charm and classic style with a fresh nowness. You can get them there. You can also get them at Naveli locations across Trinidad and Tobago, which are, it's a Desi and Indian clothing store, you know, fitting with the brand.
So get your outfit one time.
So
absolutely.
we're dressing up.
Yeah, well, you know what? So let me say, okay, so I'm wearing a jacket today because it's kind of rainy in Trinidad, a bit Londony, you know, as you know. But, so...
It's a cooler party.
It's a cooler party. So you can wear your shorts, you can basically dress to party. You could dress to sweat, but also in a way that, you know, you reference add in a bit of flair of the Desi. Colorful, exactly. Colorful, Desi vibes. You can get your clothing at Naveli. You can get your clothing at the Oblique Imperative. Just accessories, or, you know, if you want to wear a sari with a miniskirt, you know, kind of do a combination. You know, I saw something interesting the other day in Style Inspo for this. Like, somebody was wearing a denim like type of sari type of thing. You know, so you could play with it and have fun. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing TNT at Rangeela at Calabash Gardens on the 30th.
And then we're going to be seeing us there as well, because we're going to try to celebrate the holiday. But it's happening on the 30th of May. You guys, so many things to add to your calendar. So we say thank you for Keshav for passing through, for having the event, Rangeela. You can check out more on his socials. But for now, thanks to the team here in studio, behind the scenes and on set, on behalf of Natasha Lake, Mr. Q and myself, we see you on Monday here in the Now Morning Show. Bye, guys. Have a good day.